Stock market analysis and projections. First, this important information. Make sure you read this slide. It tells you about our approach to analysis and how you use that. If you're using our analysis or analysis from anybody else that you might get, the important thing is trade ownership. You must own the trade. No matter what anybody says, that means the risk management is up to you. And of course, consult with your own investment professionals and your own trading plan. That's always extremely important. So let's look at the stock market. I can't look at the stock market though without looking at some of these charts that I just mentioned to you. The bond market, the Korean market, so you get an idea of what that looks like. We'll look at S&P 500 and the VIX, multiple time frame analysis and projections. A couple of these I'll take a little longer look on, so you get the idea of what I'm looking at. And then after I show you that analysis, I'm going to bring the market condition monitor, of course, which is our just fantastic application with our proprietary algorithms built into it so that you can see the conditions of the indexes and individual stocks. So let's now move over into this analysis. We're going to start with TLT. This is the bond market. Now, one of the things that's important in here is that when I look at the weekly chart, that I wasn't sure whether there was an early trough forming right over here or it was going to come down into this time frame right over there. We got some firming in here, and the daily chart gave me a sense that it was possible that we were putting the bottom in here. But what I had done was I had noted for our members that it was possible that it was going to go into a further deeper trough out into June. And that now is confirmed, as we see that it had broken that low and is moving down very sharply. So this is a big decline for TLT this week. And this is definitely shaking up all of the risk assets when we see that. Let's take a look here at the daily chart. And this is very telling. So you can see in here the very nice cyclical rhythms that we see in here, the rally right here, and then the breakdown. Now, getting under this level right over here is very important. Then now you could see actually this is where it is today. So you have significantly broken under that support. Now, timing wise, you can see a decline here right into the bottom of the cycle, decline here right to the bottom of the cycle, and that's why I have this projection. So let's get the mental model right here. We have the market breaking down here. It's hurting risk assets, and it doesn't look like it bottoms until out over here sometime around mid-June to possibly early July is where that points to. So that's worrisome. Now, when I show you the stock market analysis, I had talked since the beginning of the year about a market that peaked somewhere in Q1 or Q2 and then had a correction into June and then a bad correction into August, September. That hasn't changed for me. So this now points to interest rates moving up for at least the next 3 weeks. And when you see the reaction to that in the stock market now, you've got to extrapolate from that, that with the stock market getting so high and just so much money pouring into it without any kind of a downtick at all until Friday, there has to be some consideration that the risk can continue here out into June. So here you could see the momentum very negative in the bond market. I'll just take a zoom in here, potentially coming out here into sometime in June. This same thing over here on the daily. Synchronicity points to early to mid-June as to the most likely trough in here, which means interest rates are likely to move up into June, and that's likely to give you pressure in all of risk assets. Look in the bottom over here, we have the slim ribbon PO. That says to you, the option bias indicator. That says to you down over here, keep your positions biased to the short side. It's never lied. You could see that. See all of these signals here? It says to you, look for downside resumptions. All of that really working. Again, these are proprietary indicators for our level 4 members. That's a look at TLT. and the story of interest rates for the next several weeks, possibly moving up sharply. Now, what would that mean? That would mean that risk assets, if they're breaking now, they're probably going to continue to be weak. So let's take a look at EWY, which is, we'll just look at the daily chart in here. And what I want you to see here, look at Korea as it's done so well based on technology. And right over here, you could see these failing patterns. These are kickers. They're called double, and this is a double kicker when you get two of them. This says to me there's a top in risk assets right now when I look at Korea. It's probably a big stretch for a lot of people to say, hey, you're looking at Korea and talking about the US market. I am actually, because this index was very reflective of what we've seen of all the buying going on in technology, which clearly has led the upside on this market. And now we have conditions that are warning that there's some topping going on right now here. That is reflective also of what we're seeing in the markets. Now, that being said, how far out are interest rates likely to continue to move up? I want to show you something here that I think is very important. This is a monthly in TLT. So I showed you the weekly and the daily likely bottoming sometime early June. Look at this monthly chart. Now, this is a great lesson in cycle analysis because I've got each of these monthlies lined up here to show you how long each of these cyclical patterns was. You can see the amazing consistency that's in there as they were between 14 and 16 months long. And where are we now? 15 months so far. You can see that the last couple of months always has a big decline as you're in these cycles, and that's where we are right now. Once that's over with, probably in June, we're going to be in a rising phase here. You can see this triangular formation right over here. If the bond market gets a big rush going, that would be reflective of weakness in the stock market. Yes, right now, weakness in the bond market is causing weakness in the stock market. But historically, the biggest upside moves in the bond market or the biggest declines in interest rates come when the stock market falls the hardest. And that could be somewhere out over here. But right now, this is saying to me that the decline we're looking at in interest rates only has probably into this June period. And it could be sharp, as you can see, based on these very last months that you see here in these cyclical patterns. So this says to me, again, when I look at that, oops, let me just fix that. That is in alignment with what we see right over here on the EWY, which I think is likely to continue to move down. Now, let's extrapolate from this and let's look at the S&P 500, SPX. So the weekly patterns that we see in here, that when you had this corrective period of all the cycles coming down right over there, of course, we got that big break over here into 2025. That was the tariff panic. And then you have the market that got extremely strong. It had this correction. Now, when we did our monthly analysis at the beginning of the year, my projection was that somewhere in Q1 or Q2, we'd probably get to about between 7,300 and 7,460. We got up here to 75.17. There's right over here is that 74.50 area on that extension. And now you could see it's starting to pull back in here. Now, this is still extremely positive, and that's reflected in the MCM because this is the heaviest weight of all the algorithms that goes into it, is this weekly right over here. And that shows you it's still strong. Support right over here. If we get the correction that I outlined at the beginning of the year into June, this level right over here is around 50. That's not even a big break at all. You're looking at approximately 400 points off the high or so. What would that be? Maybe 5 to 6%. So that's not very much into June, or potentially coming down as low as 67.75 right in there. But I would expect that the break in interest rates, the break in the bond market, and the increase in interest rates is going to bring this declining phase that I projected out at the beginning of the year. It's just what aligns the best. Now, when I look at the daily patterns right in here, now this one right over here is the Russell, so it has a different pattern. The blue one is the S&P 500. What that points to right over here is that this corrective period only has a couple more days potentially in it, and then maybe we get an upside move again right over here before the top is really put in, and then the decline in June comes over here. So if I were to project that, I would say I would suspect that what we would get is something like this, a decline and then a drop, and then some kind of a failure maybe below those highs, and then the break over here out into June into that support area that we just talked about. So that's how I would project using the information that I have right over here, looking at both the weekly pattern right over here and that broadening top and starting to give some sign of a failure in here with that long wick, and looking at this right over here. Now, that said, slim ribbon, super positive. Slim ribbon, I'm sorry, the reversal scout, super positive. No downturns in here whatsoever. I'll show you one other chart. Here you see on the bottom, the option bias indicator turns orange. That starts to tell you that you're likely to top fairly soon because it is at an extreme level. You still see this is green. Now, I want to bring in a chart that I recently showed to our members, if I can find it in here. And this is the 2-hour chart. So those of you that are short-term traders, this is a very important chart to you because the 2-hour chart, in my opinion, if you're a day trader or a short-term trader, is really important to your overall trade decisions. So you can see in here where the market was going into a correction that the 2-hour chart was telling you you're only going to take short side trades in here. This is how you catch the biggest moves in one direction or the other. Here, where you made this low back over here at the end of March, beginning of April, this was telling you long side trades only, and you can see that in here. So today, with the stock market down big and with the interest rates market shifting in a very significant way, this is telling you not yet. This says, let's let this market tell us. Now, the 2-hour chart will be the first one of the dominoes that we follow that affects our short-term analysis on our algorithms, on our market condition indicator. So this one we want to wait and see if this turns negative. That would turn blue over here on the slim ribbon PO, but this is a very important chart. If you're a short-term trader, I don't know of a better way for you to see how you make your directional decisions. And this is just super important to this analysis. So put up a 2-hour chart, look at our analysis, wait for this to tell you that yes, this actually is a real top that's going on in here, and that this pattern in here makes sense, that this is actually a topping going on because the momentum is losing its upward force. Right now, all momentum pushing to the upside, a slight overbought condition, and this cycle over here giving you a translation that is still bullish. In other words, it's way on the right side here, modest correction for a few days, an attempted rally, but then this is where the risk comes in sometime in maybe mid to late May. We'll call it late May, and then here down into June. Maybe a real bunch of chop that we're going to get in here right now before this can really turn down. If this were to absolutely get creamed, and because of the interest rates, you'd have to get under 70.46 to tell me that this intermediate pattern had topped. That's a long way down, and that's probably not going to happen until we see some choppy situation here and a more complex top than we see building right in here right now. Of course, this is Friday around midday, and there's a lot of hours left to trade in here. So we'll see this very weekday how much weaker it can get. So I wanted to show you that. Let's take a look here. Now we're going to look at weekly, daily, and monthly in the VIX because this is so important. Take a look right over here at the VIX. Here's your weekly chart over here. And for a long time, we've been talking about this time frame as when the VIX was going to bottom And then we would begin to get implied volatility to move up because investors would start to get nervous again. So here we are. Look at the cycle rhythms in here. Look at how perfect they are. And we're now just entering this period of higher implied volatilities. Now, I only have this pointing modestly higher, but really it could be much more like this when you get into this June time frame. So I said somewhere mid to late June is a peak in here, and it could actually look like that. So not really, don't really know because we're only early in this weekly timing that we see right in there. And when I look at the daily pattern, well, we talked about this being the period. I wasn't sure whether this area right here was the trough on this cycle or the one that it shifted out of right over here. They both look very much important. Here's your implied volatility coming up in here, up, moving up today. And what that says to me when I look at that is that we have these synchronized troughing pattern right there with this weekly pattern right over here. And that is a time frame in which you can really expect that there could be the whole change in the investor attitudes where they go from complacency to a real strong need to ensure their positions. That means they buy puts, and that pushes up implied volatility. There's one more part of this, and that is the monthly analysis. So let's take a look at VIX on the monthly. And you can see here just outstanding looking patterns in here. As I blow this out, this gives you all of the markets going back to the crash of 87 and the incredible alignments. And right now, where are we? We are right here where this trough is forming and likely to be into this rising area in here. The monthly is aligning with what I just said to you about the potential for big upside moves here. You can see this was a declining period in this very significantly long several year pattern in there. Now we have what looks like this rising movement that's going on here in implied volatilities. I could easily see into June implied volatilities jumping to in the 30s or 40s based on what I see here. So when I show you that, I'm just simply making the case that we're into this period in the S&P 500 where we have significant alignments in the analysis, where the upside move has been extreme, where the valuations are extreme. People keep telling me stop looking at valuations because I'm a dinosaur. There's something I want to tell you. This dinosaur, 52 years in the business, I have traded now 20 cycles. What does that mean? 20 bull markets and 10 bull markets and 10 bear markets. Whereas when the market was going up, they just had to buy them. When the market was going down, they couldn't sell them fast enough. People always saying, why didn't I buy them when they were going up this way? Or why didn't I sell them as they were falling? And I can tell you right now, I'm going to see the 21st cycle, which is when this rally fails, and maybe a lot more cycles after that. And what it says to me is that valuation's high, interest rates now coming down, risk assets under pressure that we're seeing across the board today. And this may very well be the beginning of this correction into June with maybe a much more complex topping process right now, because you see here, as I look at the S&P 500, everything there is still bullish. So it's hard to make a very big call to the downside when I'm looking at everything that's still bullish. But like I say, watch that 2-hour chart. Let it tell you first that there's a change going on, and then watch the dominoes as the daily chart turns more negative, and that affects the weekly chart.